Welcome to the Hoporenkv Native American Podcast, where we discuss focused topics within tribal housing and self-determination. I'm Brooke Warrington, the Training and Development Specialist at the Native Learning Center, and here with me is our Training and Development Coordinator, Brianna Birch. And today's podcast features our special guest, Shelly J. Tucciarelli. She has an MBA and is a member of the Oneida Nation of Wisconsin. She's Executive Director of the Visionary Ventures NFP Corporation, and she's also CEO and founder of the Turtle Clan Development Services. Shelly's here today to tell us about the incredible groundbreaking and land blessing for Jigzibik, which is Potawatomi for At the River's Edge. So welcome, Shelly. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, and always love the opportunity to talk about this amazing development.
Amazing. So, Shelly, congratulations again. Could you share the inspiration behind Jigzibik and how this vision for affordable housing specifically for the Native American community in Chicago first came about?
Yes, it was me, Pamela Silas, and John Dahl. We all met after we received the 501c3 for Visionary Ventures and decided that we needed some urban Indian housing. There were some attempts and there was some housing that had done previously, but not a multifamily development. And we needed more for our community. And we'd been fighting for housing in the Chicagoland area for over 50 years since the Indian Relocation Act, where they were assimilating Native Americans from reservations into large cities, and Chicago was one of the relocation cities. And so we sat together and decided, because John Dahl had been at the Ho-Chunk Housing Development Authority for several years working there, and Pam has been in housing for years, and I'd been in affordable housing for over 25 years at that time, and decided we needed to begin that development process to do housing for our Native community in Chicago.
Amazing. And I just want to say congratulations on my behalf, but I know that the name Jigzibik means at the river's edge. Can you just tell us how the name was chosen and what significance does it hold for the project and the community that it'll serve?
Oh, absolutely. What we did is Pam, Silas, and myself worked with the Potawatomi tribal leadership and the linguist leaders. It was Carla Collins and Corrine Casper. We challenged them to develop a name for our project based on the location in the city, and also the rendering of our building. There's going to be the river that's going across the building, and with the north and the south branch of the Chicago River. So we gave them as an inspiration. So they came back to us with Jigzibik, which means at the river's edge, because we're only about a mile from the Chicago River. So that was really how we did that. And we wanted it something that people could say, and be very significant for this project, because water is life for the Native community. And we really wanted that as the inspiration.
That's so beautiful. We know that this project has been a long time coming. Can you describe some of the initial challenges or hurdles that you faced getting it from concept to groundbreaking?
Our first challenge was to find development team, co-developer. And we found that in Full Circle Communities, because they have the same values and mission as Visionary Ventures. And the second hurdle was to find a site. So that was in the city of Chicago. Land is very scarce, and if you do find it, it's very expensive. So that was another challenge. And we were awarded the credits in December of 2021 under Mayor Lightfoot. And as we proceeded forward, there was a mayoral change to Mayor Johnson. So again, there's always those challenges when there's a mayoral change, and it was kind of stalled. But then once they hired, of course, a new Department of Housing commissioner, and once they got in, we were able to set those meetings up and get the ball rolling again.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you guys continued with this particular development. And this development is a historic first for Chicago, as we all know. But how do you anticipate Jigzibik will impact the lives of Native American individuals and families in the cities, and what specific needs will it address?
Well, one of the main things is that we already have an interested persons list of over 165 names. So we know there's a drastic need in our community. So that's right there. We're going to be benefiting 45 individuals and families within our development. And we also have 3 units that are set aside for those individuals that are coming off of transitioning out of homelessness. So we wanted to make sure that, we really are trying to address that issue in our community also. And so those are some of the main things that it's doing. And also we have studios. We have 10 studios, 15 1-bedroom, 10 2-bedroom, and 10 3-bedroom. Because one of the things as we were doing our community meetings was that we need that intergenerational housing. We're storytellers, and we want to be able to tell those stories to our youth and, continue those efforts as intergenerational housing can provide that interaction between our youth and our elders.
That's so beautifully thought out.
We know the Chicago American Indian Community Collaborative and the American Indian Center have been valuable partners. How has collaboration with these organizations shaped the project? What role will they play moving forward?
Well, Visionary Ventures is a member of the Chicago American Indian Community Collaborative, and I actually serve as the vice president of the board also. So, and it's a wonderful collaboration for about 15 different Native American nonprofits and organizations in the city of Chicago. And we really have found that when we work together, we can get so much more done. So being able for them to have that support and having those support letters going into the city saying how important that this project was is just very meaningful. And it really does hold a lot. And the American Indian Center is doing great programming for our community between some of the classes that they're holding. They have a food sovereignty program and, elder and senior, and they have an art gallery on site. And so some of the things that we're planning to do is have a memorandum of understanding as we move forward and we open the project that they'll bring some of their programming on site in our community space for our residents, and also be able to introduce our residents to the American Indian Center if they've never been there, to start going there for programming and classes. And, they have annual powwows and, being able to gather in that area, it would be so important. And also we are in close proximity to the American Indian Health Services of Chicago. So that's going to be very beneficial for our community residents, and also again, bringing them in to do diabetes checking and food nutrition and all those types of programs that are going to be so essential for our residents. We also had somebody just reach out from Minnesota doing a Native American lending library to have on site at the project for the children, to have books that are indigenous in nature. So very excited about that. It's really starting to bring more people interested in our development and how they can serve.
That's very exciting. And just building off of the power of coming together and having support. The event in particular featured a powerful lineup of speakers, including Mayor Brandon Johnson and several other key figures. Can you just speak on the importance of the broad support from city officials and other community leaders and what that will mean?
Well, whenever you're doing work in the city of Chicago, you have to go through the alderman's office. And we have a wonderful alderwoman, Rosanna Rodriguez, and she was phenomenal with the support that she gave to this development. She was behind us 100%. And again, she gave us a support letter, and she was there to help us reach out to the school system, because we wanted to make sure that we reached out to them to say, we're going to be having our Native American children coming to your school, and we just wanted them, prep them ahead of time. And they were so excited. And because of a lot of these areas, they're losing children because some of the housing in the area are 2 flats are turning into single family homes with no children. So they've had a decline in students. So they're very happy to welcome our students when our families move in. So she was very inspirational in that, and also working with some of the local block clubs and that, helping us get support from some of the neighborhood organizations.
That's going to be so amazing for all of the families who move in. I want to ask the land blessing ceremony. This was a significant part of the groundbreaking. Could you describe the meaning and importance of the tradition for the project and the Native American community?
Yes, and one of the things that we felt, we weren't going to do it in the traditional manner with shovels in the ground, because we kind of felt that was disturbing the land, and we wanted to bless the land. So one of the things that we worked with the American Indian Center, and they brought over the big drum, was able to do some honor songs. We brought Jody Roy over from the St. Kateri Center, which is only a few blocks up the street, and they do elder and youth programming. She came in and did a blessing and said a prayer to open up our programming. And then also we had McWest White there to do a traditional grass dance, because one of the things in the Native community, when they would go to different areas, or even for ceremonial, they would have the grass dancer go there and press the grass down, in order to prepare the ground for the ceremony. So it was wonderful to be able to have that there. And also we had a fire on site, and we had tobacco. So everyone there would took a little piece of tobacco and put it into the fire as a blessing. So it was different than I've been to many, many groundbreakings over my 30 years in affordable housing. And this was the most spiritual ground blessing that I've ever attended. And it was amazing.
Great. And would you say that that was definitely a moment that stood out the most to you?
Yeah, it was, and I've been preparing for this groundbreaking for, 6 years. And I said, I'm going to be spending a little more than 3 minutes here. I got a little bit to say. I also told a story about the site, how we actually ended up with the site. I was at the American Indian Center for a meeting, and I was leaving, and we had finally, after like 3 years, found a site and put an offer in on a site on Kedzie, which was only a couple blocks from the American Indian Center. So I went there, I got out of my car, and I'm looking at it, and I'm taking some pictures, and honestly, I really wasn't feeling it, but I'm like, this is the first opportunity that we've had to put an offer on a site. And so I'm like, you know what, we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. So then I had a meeting downtown. So then I left, and I took a left on Irving Park, and all of a sudden I saw this vacant lot and a sign, and I heard pull over, and I'm like, at the corner, and I turned, I parked, I got out, took a picture of the sign, and I actually called the broker and said, hey, do you think they would be interested in affordable housing on this site? And he's like, I think they might. So I called Full Circle, and I gave them the information, and lo and behold, about a week later, the offer on the site on Kedzie fell through. So what I like to tell everyone is that we didn't find this site found us. So it's just been an amazing journey.
Oh, that's incredible. So you got to listen to those gut feelings and to Creator when they're calling out. Absolutely. So what's the timeline for construction? When do you anticipate residents being able to move in?
We're starting construction now, so it's about a 16 month construction period. So we're looking at fall of next year, and we anticipate working with the people on the interested persons list. We're going to start holding workshops, because a lot, preparing our renters to move in, because with the low income housing tax credit program, there are rules and regulations, but we are going to try and put the barriers down as low as we can, in order to make sure that our residents do qualify. Because, over the years, we've had so many barriers into housing that we want to try and eliminate as many and prepare our residents to be successful renters. One of the other things that we have in this building, and because we listened as we had our community meetings, was we're up on the 7th floor on our community space. We've got an artisan room, and it's going to be tables and storage up there, so that we have so many residents that are doing crafts. They have their side hustle, they're doing beadwork, they're making regalia, and just even crafts for their own, side hustle. And so what we wanted was, instead of having their stuff all over their kitchen table, to be able to have a place to come up and work, and then also meet other residents, and just, share maybe some of their different crafts with each other, and then even maybe hold up some craft fairs right there in the community space for residents, or, outside community members to come in. And then the community space with a warming kitchen, because, you know, when you gather, you have to have food. So it's just very important that we can do that. And the outside garden, we have a green roof. So we're going to have as many native plants as we can there. And we also have up gardens. And we have a garden room so that there's water and place to put all the gardening tools and things. And this way they can do flowers and more medicine and vegetables if they want. So we're really excited about that, being able to provide that for our residents.
That's exciting to hear. It sounds like the environment is going to be really helpful, and it's going to be great for the families. And it sounds like you're trying to create an atmosphere that's community based. So that's really amazing. But looking ahead, what are your hopes and dreams for Jigzibik in the long term? And do you see this as a model for similar projects in the future or even in other cities?
Oh, absolutely. This is not our first one and done project. We have other projects that we're definitely looking forward to pursuing in the future. We want some elder housing. We need some more permanent supportive housing, some homeless housing, transitional housing so that they are coming even out of incarceration, having some housing there and preparing them to be renters possibly in Jigzibik, and not also home ownership. We want to be able to prepare our residents for home ownership. So we're going to start holding those types of classes and preparing them to get their credit in order, helping them to learn how to save money for the down payment, working with other organizations in the city of Chicago that will help our residents become homeowners. We want them to start building wealth by buying that first home. And we want them to be able to vision that, because sometimes today people just don't think they'll ever be able to own a home, but we can help them get to that point.
Oh, that's such a beautiful dream and goal to have for your community, and to be able to already have thought out the ways that you can help support that through this project. I mean, this is clearly like a huge passion for you, Shelly, and like it really, your passion leaps off the screen. We actually did a previous podcast episode with Shelly, listeners, where she went into really big detail about all the different facets and features of the building that are going to go into the culture for I almost said attendees, to the residents that are going to live there. I am going to link that episode here in the episode description. But I just want to ask Shelly, like, what does this achievement personally mean for you?
Oh, it's definitely a dream come true. I've been in affordable housing for over 30 years and always thought it would be amazing to be able to do affordable housing for our urban Native community in Chicago, because again, all the funding for housing goes straight to the reservations, and only 30% of our Native American community lives on reservations. The other 70% live in suburban and urban areas. So we need to start advocating and trying to get funding for our residents that live in the urban areas. And this is a really way to start that.
That's amazing. And just one last question as we do wrap this up. What message would you like to share with the Native American community in Chicago and also beyond about the significance of Jigzibik?
The main thing is, don't give up on your dreams. I know this was a long time coming, but we were not going to stop till we got to the closing table and finally closed on this project. So don't give up. It's a lot of hard work, but anything that's good and wonderful in our lives does take a lot of work. So, use those people around you that support you, and make sure that you're working with a great team, because it's amazing when you have people that have the same focus that you do and have that same goal that they want. So it's really important to work with that great team.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Shelly. And again, we just want to give you our heartfelt congratulations from your family here at the Native Learning Center. This has been so exciting to watch this go from your idea to getting the funding to now having the groundbreaking, and just kind of seeing this dream of yours come to fruition has been absolutely amazing. We're so happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And, you are my family. I've been part of the Native Learning Center for years, and it's been amazing to work with you guys. And I'm glad that I can continue to do so.
Yes, I definitely have to say too, just hearing the story and having you share everything is really an inspiration. So thank you so much. Thank you for not giving up, especially for your community. And I know that you're gonna, continue to do amazing things. So congrats to you. I wish you many, many more groundbreaking opportunities. Hopefully by maybe in the next year or two, we'll hear that there's 5 more opportunities and units.
We did just get funding for 80 units in the Rogers Park area. Yes, we're meeting out at the Mayor Johnson's meeting out at the corner on Friday. So we're meeting with him to discuss it's called the Warner. And it's not going to be Native centric, but because we have so many Native American residents that have been priced out of the city, and this is like the last neighborhood before you're out of the city, we can outreach to a lot of our community members with these 80 units, 100% affordable units. So we're
That's
so excited.
Amazing.
Yes.
That is so amazing to hear. Congrats to you. Congrats.
We're also looking to go to West Dallas. And in West Dallas, we're going to do 50 units of affordable housing. And it's only about 15 minutes from the Oneida administrative office in Wisconsin. So again, we can reach out to our community members for that project also. So we're not stopping. We're going to continue on.
Yes, great things happening and even more great things to come. Yeah. Congratulations. We love to hear it.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course, Shelly. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Thank you so much for just giving the layout, giving us the layout of everything and really speaking about everything and letting the Native American community know what's going on and amazing things that you're doing. Again, thank you so much from the Native Learning Center. As always, thank you for listening to the Hoporenkv Native American Podcast. If you enjoy our show, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please also visit our website, nativelearningcenter.com, to find information on upcoming webinars and trainings. And also feel free to contact our website with any episode ideas that you may be interested in us exploring. Until then, this is the Native Learning Center, and we hope to connect with you again soon. Please be sure to come back for more content.